everyone, welcome to FYI Design. Now on today's episode we're going to redo some countertops. Now our first step is to actually level the countertops. We're working in a really old home that the countertops, they're not level. So we have to level the countertops, then we're going to redo them in a fantastic Terrazzo tile that we found very inexpensively. We're also going to do the backsplash in a contrasting Terrazzo tile. We'll get more into that later, but the first step, we got to level the countertop. So let's get started. Okay, now here's the countertop we need to level. You can tell the gentle slope begins before the sink and goes all the way down the cabinet. So we'll need to raise the whole right side. Now, we measured the difference from the cabinet by the sink to the cabinet by the refrigerator, and the difference was 1.5 inches. So that's how much we'll have to raise our countertop. Alright, now here are the tools you're going to need for leveling your countertop. You'll need a crowbar, a level, a hammer, a box cutter, and a screwdriver. Alright, now the first step is we're going to take our knife and we're going to cut the caulk at the back where the countertop meets the wall. We've got to loosen it up. So the first step, loosen the back and just take your knife and we're just going to cut the caulk. Alright, now you're going to want to loosen the plumbing underneath the sink before you try to raise the countertop. And also remember to turn off the hot and the cold water as well. And now once that's done, all you need to do is take your crowbar, get underneath the cabinet and start prying it up. Now you may want to check first if there are any screws holding it in place that you can loosen. If not, take your hammer and start banging and make sure it's loose all the way around. Once we got our countertop loose, we took shims and placed them all the way around the cabinet to make sure it was level. We did it in the front and in the back because we want it level side to side and front to back. Well, we did it. Our countertop is officially level. Now, I'm not going to lie to you and say that it was easy because it's really not easy, but it just takes a lot of patience and a lot of hard work and a lot of sweat. I purposely didn't film me doing it because I was dripping with sweat and that's embarrassing. But what we did is we started at the highest point of our cabinet and we started leveling side to side and then we did back to front. We kept putting the shims in to make it higher or lower and we had to bang on the nails and you just keep banging and make sure it's level. And luckily ours is now level. So basically the hard part is done and now we get to do the fun part where we get to redo the countertops in our fabulous Terrazzo tile. So stay tuned. We're going to replace the wood pieces around the countertops to hide the gap where we raised them and they'll look more substantial. Then we're going to sand the formica. We're going to rough it up and give the adhesive something to hold on to. Hey everyone! Well, we started to cut our tile. Now this is the part they usually don't show you on TV. I am hot and sweaty and very dirty right now. I don't like that. But what we've had to do is, usually a tile saw comes with a guide. Well, I borrowed this from a friend like I do with all my tools, and he lost the guide. So we've taken a bit of our crown molding, which you saw in a previous episode, and we've made our own guide. So, we've measured out that our end pieces that hang over the countertop need to be 1.5 inches. So we've set our crown molding to 1.5 and then we just run through the tile. It's very easy once you do that. Now coming up with this wasn't so easy. So let's cut a few pieces and show you how it's done. Hi everyone! Well, I'm not going to lie to you, I'm exhausted. We have finally put all the Terrazzo tiles in place. Now the good part is we got 2 foot by 2 foot tiles, so we didn't have a whole lot of cutting to do. Expect that you're going to have some problems here and there. You're going to cut a piece too short or too long, you'll have to trim. Things are going to go wrong, but believe me, there is a solution to every problem. Now, in case you don't know what Terrazzo tile is a mixture of cement, marble chips, and granite chips. And it's all compressed into beautiful tile. You can get it in so many different colors. We've chosen this fantastic color. It looks amazing. It looks like $1 million. Now here's the best part. We got our Terrazzo tile at our warehouse surplus store for $1.50 a square foot. I mean, that is amazing, that is cheap, that is awesome, that is doable. Now, we also got a Terrazzo tile in a contrasting color for our backsplash, which we'll show you in a little bit. Alright, here is a time saver. We got this amazing metal trim piece at a tile store for 10 bucks. Now, the length of it was 8 foot, so you get 10 bucks for 8 feet. Now, what this does, it covers the edge of the tile so you don't have to polish it or finish it. It just saves a lot of time, and it looks awesome. Oh, it's going to finish it off so good. Thank goodness for this metal piece, because it's going to save you a whole lot of time. Now, we cut our metal trim pieces with our jigsaw, and we got a blade used for cutting metal. Alright everyone, I am so excited to tell you about this next time-saving trick. Okay, now, one of the worst parts about doing any kind of tile job is the mortar, because it takes forever to mix it, and then you have to put it on, and it's messy, and you get filthy dirty, and it's just not worth it. So, what we're going to use on our terrazzo tile is this. So excited to use it. It's liquid nails, but it's made for marble and granite and most any kind of engineered stone. So what we're going to do is put this in a caulking gun and put it over the laminate countertop that we've already sanded, so it's going to have something to grab onto. It's going to save us so much time and hassle. I am so excited. I mean, you know that caulk is my best friend. When I think liquid nails, it's a close second. I love you too. Let's get to work! Okay, now we're putting the liquid nails directly on the tile in a giant S pattern. Now, this will help prevent air bubbles and really help the adhesive stick really well. Then it's time to put down your tile. Now, before you press it down too hard, don't forget you need to put in the metal trim pieces. Slide those under, and the glue from the tile is good enough to hold the metal pieces in place. Then, once both pieces are in place, you can set it and forget it. Alright, now we measured on our tile where the outlet will go, and we got a special drill bit for tile and marked the 4 corners. Then, we took our jigsaw with a special diamond blade and cut from hole to hole. Now we keep water flowing on it so the blade doesn't overheat. Now, we're laying our backsplash in a brick pattern, so that means we have a lot of unique cuts around our outlets. But just use the same technique as we did before and you'll be fine. Alright, now on the other side of the kitchen, the backsplash is actually extending beyond the upper cabinets. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take the same metal trim pieces we used on the countertops, and we're going to finish off the edge of the backsplash. Now this is going to totally unify both surfaces and of course give it that nice finished look. Before we tiled around the window, we removed the molding. Now, we can't nail the molding back in place, so we're just going to use the liquid nails. We put up a temporary board behind the oven to support the backsplash tile. Now, you may have noticed we used the same countertop tile as 2 accent stripes in the backsplash. Alright, here's what you're going to need. A bag of grout, a bucket, some sponges, a grout floater, and some rags. So just follow the instructions on the bag of grout and start mixing. Now in our case, since we're using terrazzo tile, we don't need to use tile spacers. We just butt the tiles up against each other and the grout line is very, very small. So make sure you get unsanded grout. That's very important. You'll know the grout is ready when it's the consistency of peanut butter. Now before you start to grout, make sure you wash and dampen the tiles. This will help clean up the excess grout later. And once you've cleaned that tile, take your grout floater and start putting on the grout. The grout lines on our countertop lip were so small, I just decided to use my finger. Then I just removed the excess with my grout floater. Then we waited our 15 minutes and started removing our excess grout with a sponge. Now times may vary, so check your bag of grout for instructions. Hey everyone, now one thing I will not do to you is lie to you on this program. I will never lie. So the truth is, sometimes when you're doing a project you make mistakes. And we put on the grout on the backsplash and accidentally wiped off too much, and so now the grout looks non-existent. So we have to mix some more. So I'm mixing some more and we're going to re-grout and redo it again, but guess what? For every problem, there's a solution. Well, we put our second coat of grout on, and we waited 15 minutes, and now we're removing it extra carefully. You don't have to put a lot of pressure on the sponge. Now you're going to repeat this process 2 or 3 times until all the excess film is gone. Our tile came already sealed, but we're going to use this sealer to seal the grout lines. Then take your foam brush and paint the sealer over the grout lines and the tile. I'd rather seal it now than be sorry later. Then, 15 minutes later, wipe off the sealer. Now, this may take 2 or 3 applications. Yay, we're almost done! We're now going to caulk the line where the countertop meets the backsplash in a tinted caulk that matches our tile. It's going to give it a really finished and professional look. Then, remove the excess with a rubber caulking tool that we got at the home improvement store. Now, our last step is to paint underneath the countertop where we had leveled them. Now, no one will ever tell that we had to raise these countertops 1.5 inches. I mean, come on, doesn't it look amazing? Well, everyone, we did it. We're finally done. The kitchen renovation is complete. The tile and the backsplash, it looks amazing. Terrazzo is timeless. It's been used for decades, and it's about time we bring it on back to the house. It looks fantastic. Now, this project will take you 2 to 3 weekends. I'm not going to lie to you, it was a hard project. It's especially hard when you don't have a sink for that time. We were washing out paintbrushes and doing dishes in the bathtub. So that's the hardest part. However, the end product is so worth it. Your kitchen looks like $1 million, and you didn't spend $1 million. Roughly, we spent total with the new cabinet, the sink, the faucet, the tile, everything, we spent about $375. Now, anywhere you see this on TV, it's going to cost thousands, in the upwards of 10,000s. We did it on a real budget, but we get really fantastic results. Now let's take a look at the finished product. You won't believe your eyes.